Okay, the next part of this equation is going to be the creation of the elements that we're going to be using to source and destinate our VXLAN tunnel. These are going to be the NVE interfaces. Now, to configure an NVE interface inside of our 9Ks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all enable the feature. I'm going to say feature NV overlay. And I'm going to do that on both of my leaf switches. So I'll come over here, say config T, and I'll say feature NV overlay. And now that that's implemented, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create that NVE interface NVE1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify that I don't want it shut down. I'm going to come in and I'm going to say I want to use host reachability protocol BGP. That's the whole idea of using the layer 2 VPN EVPN to be able to use this in order to be able to resolve host reachability. So what I'm saying is I'm saying that inside of this network virtual edge interface, I'm going to use BGP to resolve that reachability as my profile, my protocol. I'm also going to come over here and say I want to use interface loopback 100 as the source of this IP address, just like we had in the ACI. Remember, we issued an IP address, which became the TEP. It came out of the TEP pool, and it was issued to loopback 0. And all interfaces from that point on that were using any of the overlay configuration use that interface in it. I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on this side. So I'm going to say interface NVE 1. Host reachability protocol BGP. In fact, you'll see that's the only option we have as far as a protocol. I could actually tie it to a controller. I could use OpenFlow in version 8 of the operating system. This is version 9 of the operating system. But the one that we want to look right now is going to be Border Gateway Protocol, or BGP. And again, I want to source my interface, source from loopback 100. Now, that has done quite a bit as far as configuring things. So let's take a look and see what's going on. So I'm going to say end, and I'm going to say end on both sides of the equation here. And what we're going to do now is I want to say show NVE detail. And I'm sorry, so show NVE interface in interface NVE1 detail. And what we'll see here is that we do indeed have an operational state of up. Our encapsulation is VXLAN. We have some VPC capabilities that we have to talk about as of later on in our discussions. We have the fact that we're using that loopback 0 IP address as my primary. Notice that there's a slot here for secondary. We're going to get into the details associated with that a little bit later on. But it says here that my interface is pretty much up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say on the other side, do the same thing. Show NVE. I'm going to say interface NVE1 detail, and let's see if this guy is up. A lot of times I forget to turn it on. And as an example here, I did exactly that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say interface NVE1. I'll say no shut, and then I'll say end. And let's go ahead and repeat the show command for that interface because I want to make certain that the operational state is up on both sides. So again, this is just a common mistake that I make pretty frequently as far as setting up these interfaces. So always make sure that you check and you verify that you have indeed done what you thought you have actually done. Now, another thing that I want to do is, remember, I mentioned Host Mobility Manager. All Host Mobility Manager does is keep track of MAC addresses if those machines or their associated values should be relocated. So as an example, if we did a vMotion out of this data center into data center 3, I would want to have a mechanism that gives me the capability of rapidly being able to detect the fact that the MAC address has indeed moved. Now, one of the things that we can do inside of the Nexus is that we can actually just enable that feature, and it's a feature referred to as feature fabric forwarding as far as to turn on HMM. So feature, I don't know why HMM is not in the name, but we're going to go ahead and come in here and say fabric forwarding, and now that feature is going to be enabled. The other thing that I also want to make certain is I want to make certain that we get the idea of those pervasive SVI interfaces like we had in ACI. Right now, we're building a layer 2 VNI, but later what we're going to do is we're going to build a layer 3 VNI. And for that, we're going to need those gateway addresses to be able to have traffic leave one VNI and go into or travel to another device inside of another VNI. This is that idea of layer 3 VNI communication. And it's going to be expedited if I have those pervasive gateways. What we call in Nexus pervasive gateways, or what we call anycast gateways. And to do that, I'm going to give them the configuration to where they have the same MAC address, thus making them what we refer to as anycast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say feature interface VLAN, because that's the way that I create an SVI. It's a feature that has to be turned on. I'll say feature interface VLAN. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a fake one. So I'm going to create a MAC address. I'm going to create a fabric forwarding anycast gateway MAC address. And the one that I'm going to use is going to be 001.001.001. Now, with that, my plan here is just do the exact same thing over here. Use the same fake MAC address, everything. So here we'll say fabric forwarding anycast. We'll do 001.001.001. So this is going to be a MAC address that we're going to use for the purposes of assigning that to this anycast gateway that we're actually building inside of our infrastructure. Now, it's also important to note that just because we have built our infrastructure, so if I say show NVE interface NVE1 detail, notice it says that it's operational, says encapsulation is good to go. There is the local router MAC address in the configuration. We have the IP address and other things. But if I come in here and say show NVE peer and peers, and look at this, what you see is I have no peering relationship. So what's happening here is that leaf 101 and leaf 102 are not forming adjacency. Show NVE peer. And we don't have any that's up and operational. Now, that's not something that I'm going to stress at this particular juncture, because we haven't built all of the configuration and all of the requirements. Now, one thing that I do want to make certain that I define is the fact that we are going to be using what I called on Friday as the VLAN, or the VXLAN VLAN mapping mode. So what I want to do is I want to map a VLAN to a VNI segment. Now, the way that I'm actually going to implement that is, again, it's going to be a feature. So I'll come in here and I'm going to say feature VN segment VM based. Same thing over here. Config T. I will say feature VN segment VLAN based, and that's going to allow me to be able to assign a VLAN, a VNI number, and then what we'll do is we'll be able to build the rest of our configuration. Now, another thing that has to be handled is going to be the fact that resources like 9Ks, 5Ks, 7Ks, they have ternary content addressable memory spaces. And there's specifically a TCAM for ingress and a TCAM for egress. Now, one of the things that we need to make certain that we do is we need to configure the ability to be able to accommodate the specialized utilization of these ASICs, these TCAMs, in order to be able to do fast lookups. Now, as a result of this is just something that you've got to pretty much memorize, that when we're doing these deployments, we're actually going to have to slice the TCAMs. We're going to have to reslice the TCAMs. And that's going to be easy enough. It's using the hardware access list syntax, and it's going to specify the TCAM, and I'm going to call out the region, and I want one for my routing access lists. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set its block size to 512. The block sizes are either 512 or 256. Now, the other thing that I'm also going to do here is I'm going to use the exact same syntax, only this time what I'm going to do is later on, we're going to fire up some virtual port channels. So we're going to use those virtual port channels. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slice them into blocks of 256. And then what we'll ultimately end up doing is we're going to actually need to use double wide resolution at 256 for what we refer to as our ether ARPs. So what I'll do is I'll say ether, actually it's going to be region, it's not region, yeah, region. It'll be ARP ether, and then at that point it'll be, I'm going to slice it at 256. And there's in the newer versions, we have to specify double wide. Not using the double wide is deprecated. So let's go ahead and say double wide, and it should actually notify us. It says that ether, ARP ether region without double wide is deprecated. And what this could do is it could cause us issues if we do have some silent hosts in our infrastructure, which we should not, but we always need to plan accordingly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say show CLI history unformatted, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy those configurational commands over to Leaf 101. So grab these guys right here, come over here and just paste them in, and we get the exact same configuration. Now the next recommendation at this point will be to reload these devices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say copy, run, start, copy, run, start. And when these have actually copied the running configuration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just reload them. I'm not going to make you guys watch that. I'll see you guys in the next video, where what we're going to do is we're actually going to start doing the translation between a local layer 2 VLAN attached to a Leaf device and how we're going to actually handle the encapsulation and the formation of the layer 2 VNI VXLAN tunnel that's actually going to be traversing our data plane overlay. I'll see you guys in the next video.